books out. Page 243. And your daily will be on page 43. Alright, can you guess what we're doing?
English. Special
Special
forms
forms
for good and
for
bad.
Special forms for good and bad. Okay? It's good and well. They're often confused because they're tricky. Good is an adjective that describes a noun or a pronoun. Well is an adverb that describes a verb. There is one time that well is used as an adjective, and that's when you're talking about someone's health. So when you say, like, I feel well, or, yeah, I mean, that can be an adjective, but any other time, it's going to be an adverb. Okay, let's look at sentence 1. We prayed for good weather. Good is referring to what? Weather. Okay. So, is good an adjective or an adverb in this sentence? Adjective, because it's describing the noun, which is weather. Number 2, our school trip went well. Well, is that an adverb or an adjective? Adverb. It's talking about when. Okay. The 3rd, our teacher did not feel well. It is an adjective, yep. It's a predicate adjective that describes the teacher's health. Okay, I made y'all a chart. If it's 1, good and bad. 2, better, worse. 3 or more is best, worse. You'll get it in just a second. Adverb, same thing. The only difference is well, badly. Okay. Alright, good and bad are used when you're referring to one thing. Like I said, better or worse is used to compare 2 things, and best and worst are used to compare 3 or more things. So, every time you're looking at a sentence, if the sentence is talking about 5 people, you know it's going to be here. It's talking about 1, so easy. Alright, I'm going to read some sentences, and I want you to tell me which word I'm going to put in the sentence, okay? Strictly judging by the number. So today's snowfall was good. Why? Because I'm just referring to today. Right. Okay. Yesterday's snowfall was blank than today's. Better or worse? It's comparing. Last month's snowfall was the blank of all. Best or worst of all. So does that kind of make sense now? See how it's used in the sentences? Yesterday's ice storm was blank than today's. Worse. Yes, it's comparing 2. It's going to be worse. Last month's ice storm was the blank of all. Worse. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far? Everybody with me? Okay. All right, let's go to the guided practice section. Bailey, can you read number 1 and tell me what the answer is?
Blank weather in the Arctic inland reaches highs of 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Good.
Good. Good weather in the Arctic. Okay, Chance, number 2.
The ice fisherman did not feel blank after being on the ice for several hours. Well.
Are you raising your hand? Okay, go for it.
Because
Siberius
temperatures are so cold people have to bundle up. Well,
Well, good job.
and that would be used as an adjective, right?
Yes. Okay. Underline the correct form of good or well and draw an arrow pointing to the word it describes. This is going to be one time I actually want you to draw the arrows because I think it's going to help you. Yes. Oh, you want to do it? Okay. I'll get to you. Let's see if anybody else wants to do it that hasn't had a turn. Lexi?
W.A. Bentley is a better photographer of snow scenes than of wild animals.
That is correct. Can you tell me why you chose that one?
Because it's comparing.
It's comparing two. It's comparing W.A. Bentley is a better photographer of snow scenes. I'm sorry, it's comparing the snow scenes and wild animals. So it's comparing two different types of scenes. Remy?
I'll do one. So what would be described?
What do you mean?
You said draw an arrow. What is it describing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Photographer. Better photographer.
Inland Arctic temperatures are worse than those along the coast.
Which one did you say?
Worse.
Worse, yes. Comparing the two different types of temperatures. Worse is comparing two things. Worst is comparing three or more. So in this sentence, for instance, it's only comparing the temperatures in the inland Arctic and along the coast. So it's two different places that it's comparing.
And it's describing temperatures, right?
It's temperatures. Yep. Okay.
Last night was the worst snowstorm in January.
Worst. And that's a good example. So what is worst describing? Snowstorm. And it was the worst one in the entire month. So it's obviously there's more than 2 days in an entire month, right? So you know it's going to be worst. Okay, Dawson.
The worst danger
Arising?
from the heavy mountain snowfall is an avalanche.
Worst.
It's describing avalanche.
Danger. Worst danger.
Worst or worse?
Worst. The worst danger arising from a heavy mountain snowfall is an avalanche. Like that's the worst of all. Chance?
Wet ground soaks up water better than dry snow-covered ground.
Wet ground soaks up water better than dry snow-covered ground. We're comparing two different things.
What would be describing water?
It's describing soaked or soaks. So it's describing how it soaks up. So that would be draw the arrow to the word soaks.
Do we have to draw an arrow on a baby green?
You didn't do the arrows for the first one? No.
Do we have to do the proofread paragraph?
No, you're only gonna do, oh wait, yes. You proofread the paragraph, but you don't have to do the apply and write. So it's 1 through 11 and then the proofreading. And in that section in the box, there's gonna be 3 words that you need to correct. You might wanna write that to the side. There's 3. Does anybody have any questions before you get started? Everybody good? Okay. All right. We'll do the independent practice and then we'll go over it.